Super secret Q&A time. October 2021. It's your boy, and we're back with another super secret Q&A time, the Patreon exclusive Q&A session where I ask every single patron, all the way from $3 up to $50, to ask me a question every single month, and I will answer every single question I get every single time. This is how many of these have I done? It feels like I've done this shit for like 10 years, but I think it's only like the 6th or 7th one we've done. And you guys still keep asking me questions, which is great. It's fantastic. I'm surprised you guys haven't run out of questions to ask me yet. So we're gonna, again, as always, grab every single question you guys have asked and answer them to the best of my abilities. Let's go. Atzel Ledesma says, "Hey Joe, have you ever considered playing Final Fantasy XIV? I haven't considered it personally, but I've had many friends who all play Final Fantasy XIV to try and get me into playing Final Fantasy XIV, but alas, I am better than that. I have better control of my body than that, because I know for a fact that if I start an MMORPG like Final Fantasy XIV, which is the only Final Fantasy game I haven't played yet, I've played every single one except for 14, because I know the moment I start playing 14, you're not going to see videos from me for about 3 months." The cat lady says, "Hey Joey, happy belated birthday." Oh yeah, these were collected during September, which was my birthday, so thank you for the birthday wishes. My question is, have you played Ghost of Tsushima? If so, did you enjoy it? If not, would you play it? Yes, I have played Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't actually finished it though. I got to like the last island, I think, or the last part of the island rather, and I just like, I don't know, ran out of time. I got busy or something. I don't know. But the little that I played probably about 60% of the game, 60-70% of the game, and I really fucking enjoyed it. I should probably go back and try and finish that, or just play it from the beginning again. I don't know. Dreaming Cannibal says, "Would you ever consider doing a panel of sorts with your higher tier patrons or randomly selected subs to actually have discussions about some anime/news?" That's actually kind of a cool idea. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I do have a tier of the higher tiers. If you're a $25 or a $50 patron, then you guys can give me suggestions for video topics that I will cover on the second channel. So I've had 2 videos so far, which are direct questions, I guess, that you guys wanted to ask me for a video and stuff like that. So, you guys have been asking me some interesting questions. I want to do more of them, definitely. But I definitely do want to do more, I guess, like, community-driven stuff, like Patreon community-driven stuff. I'm thinking maybe to, like, bring back Let's Fight, but instead of collecting opinions from all across my social media, I'm thinking maybe to just do like a Patreon version of Let's Fight. I don't know. I guess give me your suggestions down in the comments. John says, "Hey Joey, thank you so much for answering my question from last time. Have you got a PO box for us fans to send you stuff? If you don't have you thought about it? It would make a great video for your second channel. Love what you do, and tell Aki she's beautiful. Thanks." Well, thank you for calling my girlfriend beautiful, because she is. I have considered a PO box. And I guess you guys can send me stuff. I guess, obviously you guys know I'm with an agency called Geeks Plus here in Japan, and Geeks Plus has like a PO box or an address, I guess, where you guys can send stuff to. I'm just like talking to my manager right now about if that even is an option, because Japan has like really strict like customs rules and stuff like that, and the custom tax is fucking insane. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it though. I'm definitely working on it, so I will let you guys know, because I also agree it would make great second channel content, and I definitely want to, like, interact with you guys more, right? Especially because I won't be able to see you guys. Procrastinator says, "Hey Joey, manga question here. Have you ever bought or read an English translated manga of something you already read, just to see the impact the translation has on the story or delivery of emotion? If so, what series? Also, have you seen the English deluxe editions of Berserk? They are the sexiest looking books I've ever seen, and the publisher also has similar versions for Hellsing and Blade of the Immortal." So first part of the question, have I ever bought or read an English translated manga of something just to see the translation? Yes, definitely. I mean, usually, most of the time, I don't buy it myself because it's actually kind of difficult to buy English manga here in Japan. But, yeah, like, if I'm overseas or whatever, or, if I'm at Aki's place or I'm at a friend's place overseas and they have English manga, then, yeah, I read it because I'm kind of curious to see how they translate it. And, language is very powerful in that sense, right? Like, it might be perfectly translated, but there are small nuances that sometimes, you might not be able to get across, especially between Japanese and English. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. It's always interesting to see, like, how, like, say, like, the most quotable lines from a Japanese standpoint might read very differently in English and vice versa. And yes, I have seen the English deluxe editions of Berserk. Actually, I think Jacksepticeye, like sent me a picture of his Berserk book collections, and it looks fucking awesome. I'm very jealous that your guys' Berserk books look so much cooler than ours. Cosmo says, hey Joey, since the Seiko X JoJo watches are limited to 1,000 each, they have a one-of-a-kind number engraved on the back. What is the number of your watch? I also have a Mr. watch, and mine is 0637. Bought from Zenmark using the Trash Taste referral. Hey, thanks for that. I really love the watch. It looks so good, and the little references are so cool as well. I actually don't know. Let me see. Oh, okay, I see mine. Mine is 0616. Out of 1,000. So mine is number 616. So I bought, and yours is 0637, so I win. Michael W says, g'day manga boy. Really got to compliment the way you approach the second channel, got me entertained. Thanks guys. What is an aspect of yourself you want to improve? Doesn't have to be a deep question, but I'm just wondering if there's something you want to work on at the moment. I guess, I guess like getting better at all sorts of different skills and whatnot, and just like, trying to find that balance between content and my personal life, and making sure that one doesn't take over the other in any sense. I think working on that, I feel like I've gotten better at it, but still trying to work on it, because I feel that's at least with the kind of job that I do and people like me do, I think that's like the best road to true happiness. Tomoki88 says, not sure if my question is offensive in some way, since this will be the third time asking, and if it is, then I'm sorry. However, when I watch the Dojin podcast, I'm still confused on what Dojin is. Can you quickly explain the differences between Dojin/Dojinshi? Is it always done by Japanese artists/authors? Is the main character always based off a character from a different anime? And are they always cultured? A clear explanation would be much appreciated, and keep up the amazing content. Okay, so Dojin or Dojinshi is essentially, or for one, it is not always cultured. I think that's the biggest misconstrued point that a lot of foreigners have when it comes to the word Dojin. Not all Dojins are R18. Not all Dojins are cultured. In fact, there is a very large collection and demand for all ages Dojin as well. And Dojins or Dojinshi don't always have to be a parody of an pre-existing character or series or anything like that. Yes, that is also a thing as well, but then if the Dojin is based off of a pre-existing IP, then that becomes a, I guess, subset of Dojins called Nijisosaku, which is second-hand creation. So that becomes a Nijisosaku Dojin. But sometimes you have, some of the more popular Dojins out there are completely original characters, completely original story that is created by that author. But the biggest difference between a Dojin artist and a manga artist is that manga artists usually publish their stuff through a publication, whereas Dojin artists is self-released and they sell it online, or in the case with how a lot of big Dojin artists get big in the first place, is they sell it at conventions, things like Comic-Con. So think of a Dojin or a Dojin. So think of a Dojin artist, I guess, as like kind of like an indie artist in the music world, and the one song that they have created, whether it's a cover or not a cover, by that indie artist is the Dojin of that Dojin artist. Hope that clears things up for you. Shinobi's Wolf says, yo my boy. So first, I want to say thank you, because I had so much trouble getting into manga since I really hate reading. Mostly only read if the anime wasn't finished or if I heard the manga was better. So after some of your recommendations, I slowly started to enjoy them. It's still pretty difficult and I take forever to finish a page, but I'm slowly getting there. Oh, and for the question, why do NTR hentai get such good animations and the wholesome and nice ones get Queen Bee? I mean, I don't think that's always true, to be honest. I think you're just not digging far down enough, because I've seen some pretty badly animated NTR stuff as well, and some really good animated wholesome shit. So I think it's just like the more infamous, or the more, I guess, like famous ones that have more famous source material from Dojins get picked up by Queen Bee, unfortunately. And I'm glad you're getting into manga. That's good. I'm glad you're getting into reading. And dude, it's not a race. Don't worry about it. If it takes forever to finish a page, that's fine, man. No one's got a timer. No one's timing to make sure you're reading it fast enough. Take your time with it. In fact, the more time you take with it, the more you'll be able to absorb the story and more you'll be able to get into it, right? So hey, take all the time you need, man. It's not a race, and as long as you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. Frogtail says, what studio could possibly do a faithful and worthwhile adaptation of Berserk in your opinion? Fuck. Geez, I don't even know. Maybe, like, at this point, I'm thinking maybe, like, either David Productions or, like, Ufotable is, like, really the only two studios that I can think of that could probably pull off that aesthetic and make it work. But really, at the end of the day, it really does have to do with who is the director, who are the key animators. There's lots of little tiny, discrepancies even within the same studio. So yeah, but if I had to say which studio, either Ufotable or David Productions, I feel. Nathan Bushy says, what are your thoughts on High School DD? Certified hood classic, if I do say so myself. The fourth season was pretty shit though. Definitely first two seasons are the best. Also, the light novel is pretty dope. The original light novel is actually pretty good, and I would recommend. Thomas says, hi Jerry, I was curious to ask, what are your top 3 or top 5 video games, and what are some of your favorite video game soundtracks? Love the content, keep up the amazing work, and hope you're doing well. Likewise, thank you. Well, I mean, we did the whole, our video game tastes, the video game 3x3s, so I guess they're up there. But my favorite video game soundtracks is Final Fantasy VI, Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island, what is it? Chrono Trigger. God, so many good video game soundtracks out there. I can't name them all, honestly. John McKenna says, what was the worst experience you had with a convention handler, and why was it so bad? Don't name names or even name the con if you don't want to. I mean, the worst handlers are the ones that just don't know what the fuck they're doing, and, are the ones that won't do anything until told to. I think that just, I feel like you can say that about any job, really. Like, just, be good at what you do, right? And you wouldn't run into any problems. Like, at least pretend that you want to be there. There are some handlers that just don't want to even be there, and it's so obvious, and I'm like, dude, then why are you here? Just like, go do something else if that's the case. Bottom line, handler or not, just do your job, and, know what you're doing, and everyone will have a good time. Douglas Whitaker says, hey Joey, I know you prefer the darker stuff. Winter 2022 anime season will be airing an anime that I think you'll really enjoy. It's based on a manga titled Requiem of the Rose King, or Barao no Soretsu. It's a shoujo horror retelling of Shakespeare's Richard III, and I am super hyped for it. Other than the Romeo and Juliet derivatives, do you know of any other Shakespeare-based manga or anime? First of all, that sounds fucking awesome, Douglas. I'd never even heard of that before, but if it's what it says, with those like shoujo horror retelling of Richard III, dude, that sounds fucking dope. I'm definitely keen to check that out. And do you know any other Shakespeare-based manga or anime? Yeah. Oh my god, what is it? There was that one, Zetsu no Tempest was based off of a Shakespearean play, I believe, which was pretty fucking good. Also, the opening to that slaps hard, even to this day, so I would recommend. Light Yagami says, hey Joey, God of the New World here. Recently, I just finished Eyes and really enjoyed it. However, there were times when Ichitaka gave off Shiro Emiya vibes from Dean Stay Night. Seriously, when I got to the final volume and read the chapter where he literally lies to Iori's face about cheating on her with Aiko, I literally wanted to chuck my volume. I wanted to ask, who was your personally best girl, and if there were any facepalm moments for you in Eyes? Well, first of all, I just read out a huge fucking spoiler near the end of near the end of Eyes, so I apologize if you haven't read Eyes yet. It's still great though. I would still recommend reading it. That's just one spoiler I guess I didn't realize was a spoiler until I finished reading it. I mean, there were lots of facepalm moments with Eyes. I mean, Ichitaka is not the most perfect protagonist out there, but I think that's what makes Eyes as a story so much interesting, is that every character is flawed in their own way, right? And it's very, true to real life. There isn't a perfect human being out there with perfect experiences and perfect decisions and stuff like that. And, yes, there were facepalm moments, but they made the story that much spicier. Brian Lee says, hey Joy, I have 2 questions. You can answer either or both if you don't mind. Are manga/light novels in Japanese written in hiragana, katakana, kanji, or a combination of all 3? It's a combination of all 3. One thing you have to understand about Japanese is that it doesn't matter, as long as the moment you go past maybe 2nd grade textbook levels, everything is a combination of 3. And what is your favorite hentai series animated, please and thank you? Oh god, I don't think I have a favorite animated TV series. Probably Pisahame Even though the animation that was shit, I just really like that story a lot. Victor Eli Pareno says, hey Joey, what are your recommendations when you first moved to Japan? Like any paperwork needed to live in Japan or anything you need to adjust to? Well, I have a Japanese citizenship, so it was a lot easier for me. I just had to go to my local like ward office, do some paperwork and stuff like that. But you know, if you're moving here with a visa, yeah, you're welcome to paperwork hell. Eric Skepstrom says, hey Joey, I'm going to go to Japan in April, hopefully, and going to study Japanese in Kyoto for 6 months. I was thinking of vlogging some of my experience. What would a good camera be to film and take pictures? Not looking for the most expensive option, but still do not really want to cheap out. Warm wishes from Sweden. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully the world will be back to normal by then, so fingers crossed, I guess. Well, I'm currently filming this video right now off of a Sony A7 or the A series. No, sorry, not the A7. Sorry, this is the A6400, I believe, the 6400. Good camera, good vlogging camera. Not cheap, but as you can see, really good quality. You know, makes my streams look fucking amazing. But honestly, dude, if you have like the latest iPhone, dude, like the camera on this shit works like a goddamn charm. Like some of the vlogs I film, you know, out and about and stuff like that, I film with my phone and it's fucking great. So, you know, as long as you got like the latest iPhone and stuff like that, dude, like that's an amazing camera that is very quick and easy, you know, because you're always going to be carrying it around, right? So that's perfect for vlogging, honestly. So yeah, I guess if you don't have the new iPhone or the later iPhones, then maybe invest in that. Andrew Noix, I think that's a silent G at the beginning of your surname. Your thoughts on John Williams and Toby Fox? No disrespect to Joe Hisaishi or Danny Elfman, but those guys' music always sound the same. The former don't, especially John Williams showing his versatility in Schindler's List and the prequels. Well, I would argue that Danny Elfman, Hisaishi Joe, John Williams, and Toby Fox all have like their own like unique little flavors, right? I mean, there's a reason why like you can immediately recognize a John Williams soundtrack or a Toby Fox soundtrack in exactly the same ways you can recognize a Joe Hisaishi or Danny Elfman soundtrack. In saying that though, I think Toby Fox, for one, is a deeply underappreciated composer. I mean, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of like Undertale or Deltarune when it comes to the gameplay or anything like that, but you know, some of the fucking some of the fucking Undertale music is fucking great. Even though they've been mean to absolute shit, dude, like Megalovania is still one of, I would say, like in my top 5 boss music like tracks. Like that track is fucking insane. Like it's so hype, and the fact that Toby made that shit while making the rest of the fucking game on his own is like insane to me. So I reckon, yeah, I really like Toby Fox. And I mean, John Williams, I mean, there's a reason why he's considered one of the greatest fucking video game score composers in the world, right? I mean, he's great. You can't go wrong with the John Williams soundtrack. Sally Lee says, hey Joey, thanks for answering my question last month. Have you ever been to San Diego, California? I have not. There are a lot of places in America that I haven't been to. I've been to San Francisco and obviously LA, but yeah, that's about it. And Anaheim. There's like a lot of my friends who live in Anaheim. I don't know if that's considered the same place or anything, or it's just like a different city or a suburb or anything. But no, I've never been to San Diego, but I'd love to go. I've heard it's quite lovely there. Alum says, if given free reign to create your own anime, what would it be about and what studio would you want working on it? Ooh, that's tough. I guess it depends on what studio I want working on it would depend on what kind of story it is, right? Like I wouldn't give, you know, Ufotable a fucking romance show, or you know, I wouldn't give a fucking, I don't know, Studio Orange to do like an artistic type of show, right? Like it really depends. Like I think different studios have different like vibes of creations that they're good at, but I mean, working with like some of my favorites like Kyoto Animation or Shaft would be fucking insane. What it would be about, I have no idea, man. I'm still trying to work on that book I've been writing for the past like 2 years, and it's just finding time for that is hard as fuck. Harvsy Games says, would you do a trash taste episode where you try snacks from the countries where you and the boys are from? Connor, UK, Gaunt, Thailand, and you, Australia. I would like to see the different snacks from Australia and Thailand. I think that's a really good idea. We've been trying to do that actually. So yeah, fingers crossed. That might be a future trash taste episode. Deco Q says, do you intend to travel around the world with Aki, or are you content with staying in Japan with her in the foreseeable future? Honestly, man, I have no fucking idea. To be honest, I don't even know when we're going to be able to travel all at this point. Hopefully next year. Hopefully 2022 will be the first year where, you know, enough places will be open where we can actually go travel the world again, because God, I miss it, man. I miss it. We used to do so much fucking traveling before the pandemic, and then it's just nothing. As much as I love Japan, man, like, I need to get out there. I need to see the rest of the world before I die, honestly. Maria Mazzochi says, next year I'll travel to Japan for like a month and a half. Can you give me some advice for funny anime-themed stuff to do or simply cool places to go? And in your opinion, is it possible to meet and know some Japanese people? I mean, yeah, absolutely. You know, go anywhere. There's like, if you go to like Shinjuku, Shibuya, Akihabara, like, you know, the more like, I guess like urban places, then yeah, there's lots of people who are like way more nice to foreigners than, say, if you were out in the countryside. I feel that just is the case for every country at this point. And funny anime themed stuff to do, I mean, if you watch like my vlogs or Aki's vlogs where we go out to like different cafes and like cool places around Japan, then you might, you know, get a hint, I guess, of where to go. So there's lots of J vloggers out there that make all sorts of cool content on fun anime themes, things to go to, but we all know Aki and I do it the best. Timor Safian says, hey Joey, have you and all the boys thought about having someone from the academia that deals with anime and general Japanese pop culture on the podcast? I think it's a really big part of looking at Japanese pop culture, especially with the attempts of Cool Japan, but it's largely overlooked by the community, mainly because it doesn't really go out to the public, which is why I think it might be interesting to have someone who does anime research on the podcast. Sorry for the long question. For one, I didn't even know that was like a legitimate form of academia. Like, you're talking like an anime professor, like an otaku professor? Is that even a thing in Japan, or is that just like a joke thing? Because if that was the case, I think I would be more than qualified myself to be able to teach in that subject. But I haven't got any offers from universities to do that job, so I guess we'll see how it goes. Kawa, I think, says, hey Joey, little disclaimer up front, my username is pronounced like Sasha. Oh, okay, never mind, it's in Russian. Sorry about that, Sasha. Since the Western world shifts towards a more liberal view on drugs, what are the views on drugs like cannabis in Japan? I know that the Japanese law is very restrictive in that case, but what are the views of the Japanese people? Are there any movements or celebrities that speak out for a less restrictive approach, and how does the media handle that topic? Well, unfortunately, the problem is that, as you said, you know, I believe the media, or I guess the TV media, is the one that mostly is the one to like expel to the general public about new and edgy things, according to the Japanese point of view. Cannabis being one of them, obviously, marijuana, weed, however you want to call it. And there's definitely no movement, just because we got a lot of old people here who will not budge. All the people running this country are old people who will not budge. So until that generation disappears and we have a more open and honest conversation about those kinds of very controversial things according to the Japanese way of life, then I don't see it becoming legal anytime soon, like at all. I genuinely think it's going to be one of those countries that is just going to stay illegal for like the next like 4 or 5 generations at least. I mean, the fact that, you know, Japan, I think, is the only first world country that doesn't allow for dual citizenship is already telling of how fucking backwards thinking they are about this shit. So yeah, you know, they're gonna get rid of a lot of, and the fact that, you know, this country still uses fucking fax, I think is already telling of the fact that, no, they're not ready for weed, dude. They're not ready. Even though, ironically, Japan is probably the one country that needs weed the most from how stressed people are. But yeah, I don't think they'll ever understand it. They'll just treat it as the devil's cabbage, if you will. Not that I'm advocating for drugs or anything, but Jesus Christ, man. They sell cigarettes for like, you know, $3 a pack and sell beer for like $1 a pint, and yet they're like, oh, this cannabis drug is definitely gonna kill people. Like, all right, dude, go do some research. Remakin Production says, you mentioned that you watched all the Godzilla films except for a few. Out of the 36 films, what are the ones that are your favorite and the ones that you want to throw in a nearby volcano? My favorites are Godzilla 54, good movie. Mothra vs. Godzilla, my favorite movie. The Return of Godzilla, good movie. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, all 3 versions. I've seen the first version. And Shin Godzilla, which I haven't actually seen. Yeah, I know. And All Monsters Attack, that 1998 disaster, and Planet Eater can eat a dick. Have a good day, my friend. Yeah, All Monsters Attack was pretty shit. Planet Eater I've never actually seen. Yeah, it's weird. Like, out of the mainline Godzilla films, I still haven't watched Shin Godzilla, which you'd think I would have seen, considering that it's fucking directed by Anno Hideaki, the creator of Evangelion, like literally the only anime director out there. But yeah, no, still haven't seen it. And I've heard such mixed opinions on Shin Godzilla. Some people have said it's fucking amazing. Some people have said it's a snooze fest. I still need to watch it. I got to find some time to watch it. But my favorite, personally, is Mothra vs. Godzilla, because Mothra is my fucking babe. Ophelia Stan says, simple question here. How the fuck does your nails not grow? There's multiple times in different videos when you mention that your nails don't grow. How? Because my nails grow super quick and it's annoying to cut it all the time. Well, for one, I also chew my nails. This is like a hereditary thing. My dad chews his nails. My grandmother chews her nails. Apparently, my great-grandmother also used to chew her nails. I know that's an excuse or anything, but it's just a habit that I'm trying to fucking get out of. But it's hard, man. It's hard. I know. It's really hard. Arch Sen says, hey, Joe, I'm learning Japanese right now, and I want to ask if I need to learn kanji since furigana can bypass it. Also, what's the best way to learn kanji besides actually just reading it through a kanji dictionary? No, you can't bypass kanji because not every piece of media has furigana on it. Furigana being hiragana, the way that the kanji is written in hiragana above it. That is only really in like shonen manga magazines and stuff like that. But once you get to like seinen manga, like Berserk, for instance, has no furigana because they expect you to be an adult and you don't need that furigana shit. So no, furigana does not mean that you can bypass kanji. Kanji, yes, is difficult, but it is so important because it really makes Japanese. And the best way to learn kanji, classroom, textbook. Other than that, dude, just learn it through a kanji dictionary like I did. If you want to go the hardcore mode that will take time but is definitely effective in my experiences, then do that. Noah says, what is your favorite light novel and some of your recommendations? Also, what do you think of Konosuba No Game No Life light novels? I'm trying to check out more light novels that later became an anime I enjoyed. Also, do you think Bakemonogatari manga or light novel is better? I also wanted to know if you had any recommendations on where to get quality anime figures in the States. I checked Tokyo Takamode, but most of the ones I want are sold out. Any thoughts? Okay, so favorite light novels and light novel recommendations. Ore ga iru Suzumiya Haruhi. My favorite of all time is Boogie Pop Phantom series. Durarara is also really good. And you mentioned here Konosuba No Game No Life light novels. Konosuba is great. I haven't finished the No Game No Life light novels, so I can't tell you much. Also, do you think the Bakemonogatari manga or light novel is better? Well, for one, Bakemonogatari was never a light novel. It was just a regular novel. And it was really good, though. And the manga is actually pretty good, too. I'm still collecting the manga volumes. And when it comes to anime figures in the States, dude, I have no fucking idea, to be honest. I only know Tokyo Takumo. That's about it. Maybe Ami Ami, if you can access it from America. If not, hey, VPN time, baby. Corbin Magia says, have you seen Star Wars Visions after the questions in the last video? If you have, then what was your favorite episode? Mine was The Ninth Jedi and Lupin Ocho. I haven't. I'm so sorry. Corbin. I haven't. I've been so fucking busy this month. I haven't. I apologize. Raviel says, do you watch epic rap battles of history? And if so, which battle is your favorite? Yeah, I used to. I haven't seen them recently, but I mean, a classic will always be that I really enjoyed was Eastern philosophers versus Western philosophers. That shit went hard, dude. Like that had some bars all over the place. Jonathan Malicote says, thanks for having awesome content between here and all your channels. You said that you loved Zelda a lot, and I thought I'd recommend the manga for it, specifically Twilight Princess, as does a great job of covering the story of the game and adds in some original ideas that make it fun read. I didn't know there was a Twilight Princess manga, so I'll check it out. My main question though is with J-Rock specifically. Thanks to anime, I got into bands like Man with a Mission, Survive Said the Prophet, and Hyde, and have bought most of their albums. I feel, though, I'm missing out on some really good bands and would really like some recommendations. Asian Kung Fu Generation, Rin Toshite Shigure, Lark NCL. I mean, you've heard of Hyde, so you should know Lark NCL. God, who else is there? Nothing's Carved in Stone. Nico Touches the Walls. Oh, God, who else has done anime openings? There's a lot. Spire. Jeez. And when it comes to, like, I guess, ones that haven't gotten an anime opening specifically, but I'm surprised haven't yet, is, like, Polka Dot Stingray, Trico. Yeah, there's a fuckload of good J-Rock bands out there, so I guess pick and choose your favorite. Jeremiah McCord says, are you more Aussie or Black Sabbath? Black Sabbath, 100%. Aussie era Black Sabbath is the shit. Screw the Dio era, dude. Chris Chang says, would love to hear your thoughts and comments on the recent Arknights event and which are some of the new operators you've whaled for. Well, I've actually stopped whaling for Arknights. I'm still playing Arknights. I'm playing through the new event. That final boss, like the giant plant monster boss, is like fucking insane. I mean, I beat him eventually, but yeah, I've stopped putting money into Arknights since like like at least 6 months ago. Yeah, I've stopped whaling. I've whaled enough on Arknights. Now I'm just playing it casually, so I've actually missed out on a lot of the new banners and stuff like that, but oh well. Difo02 says, Hi Joey, I'm from Chile and I would want to know, what do you think about your audience from Spanish-speaking countries, and if you would like to visit any South American countries? Yeah, I've never visited South America at all. I guess if there's like a con in South America when the world opens up again and we get an invite, hell yeah, I'd be down to go. Let's do it. Mihara says, Yo, Joey, I have two questions that basically go hand in hand. What is your opinion on exaggerated facial expressions in older anime like Naruto or FMA? I noticed long ago that season by season, we see less and less anime that utilizes them and more move to the A1 KyoAni style clean animation. Not to say those are bad, but I personally kind of miss this kind of animation. And question two is, what do you think will this overexpressive style die out, or it will stay around as a niche for those who value them? And you give a couple of examples here, which I completely understand what you're talking about. Is definitely like a 90s, early 2000s type of ridiculous facial expressions thing. I don't know. I never really thought of it like dying out, I guess. But yeah, I mean, you know, every kind of anime style does eventually die out. There's a lot of like 60s and 70s anime styles from like comedy shows and stuff like that have completely died out ages ago. And you know, there's a lot of stuff from like the 80s and 90s OVA era that have completely died out as well, stylistically, art style wise, and stuff like that. And you know, I feel anime's already had gone through multiple evolution stages, and I feel that this is just the next one. You know, if it does die out eventually, it will be sad because you know that style was very much my childhood. And, you know, it is still funny to this day, but I guess the great thing about the internet age is that eventually we'll be able to go back and just rewatch those whenever we want, right? And kind of bask in our nostalgia again. Tiny Batman says, Hey Joey, happy belated birthday. Thank you. Mine was the 29th, so it's a good gift to get a MOC on my birthday. Hey, let's go. Music question. Are there any instruments that you wish you played? Also, is there any instrument you play that we aren't aware of? Any instrument that I wish I played, I wish I'd learned the sax. I fucking love the sax. I think the sax is such a cool instrument. And any instruments you play that we weren't aware of, I can play the flute. Not very well, but I self-taught to play the flute, and I can play a couple of songs on it. Haven't played in a while, but yeah, I can play the flute. Kevin says, can you explain why you love Beatrice from ReZero? I fail to see what's appealing about getting forcefully thrown out of a room, and she is kind of harsh on Subaru. I say kinda because she does help him out sometimes, and I do think that's nice, and she's very cute regardless of what you say. I respect your taste in waifus because I believe respecting others' taste is important. Also, I haven't read the light novels or watched season 2. Well, for one, thank you for respecting that. You are the 1%, Kevin, of otakus that actually understand another person's opinion is another person's opinion. I don't know. I just think she's like the most interesting character in ReZero. Like, I think Rem is basic as fuck. Emilia is like ungrateful as fuck. I mean, Ram is basically non-existent. And in terms of like personality, looks, and how much of like, I guess, a mystery and how much like she is like an anomaly in the ReZero world, yeah, she's like the most interesting. And I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I think she's cute. She's like a fun character. Every time she's in a scene, she's just a fun character, I feel. And she's like, again, one of the most unique characters in my opinion. I also haven't seen season 2, so I don't know anything about this like Echidna girl or anything, but she basically just looks like if you took Emilia and Beatrice and put her in the blender. So yeah, I might be wrong about that. I don't know. But from the little I've seen of ReZero, that's why I love Beatrice. Mari McCabe says, what, in your opinion, are the best and worst changes you have seen in the internet community since you have joined YouTube as a creator? How do you see these changes, good and bad, affecting future and current creators? Love your content and sending good juju to you and Aki. Thank you, Mari. Oh, geez, that's a good question. The best and worst changes seen in the internet community since you have joined YouTube as a creator? Well, for one, I feel... I guess the bad would definitely be that, you know, I feel now YouTube, I guess, hasn't become like this like niche that the rejects of the world kind of came to be creative and stuff like that. You know, like I feel YouTube back then was always about like the ones who didn't fit in school and the ones that were like, you know, had weird hobbies that couldn't express themselves, who could come onto YouTube and share it and express it with a niche audience. But now, you know, basically all the school bullies that used to bully those kids with weird opinions and tastes and likes are now also on YouTube and, you know, trying to make a a career. And I'm not here to like bash on anyone's fucking past or anything. If you're a school bully and now you're a YouTuber, I don't give a fuck personally, as long as you're not a dickhead on YouTube. But I guess like the best change though is the fact that at least from what I can speak of when it comes to the anime community, the online anime community on YouTube, is that we've become a lot more varied. Anime content on YouTube, I feel, has just become less of a dick measuring contest and more of just like if you're into this thing, you just keep making that content, and the rest of the community most of the time is there to support you. Obviously there is like feuds and stuff like that exist beneath the surface, but I've met a lot of fantastic people in the anime community from all over the fucking world, and it's great. Like I'm not like fully integrated myself into that community or anything, but when I'm still considered one of that community, and it's great. There's lots of great people in that community. Again, I can't speak on behalf of the rest of the communities on YouTube or anything, but at least when it comes to the anime community, it's definitely gotten a lot better. It's definitely gotten a lot calmer. Everyone's grown up, that's for sure. Tori Provenzano says, did you like the manga ending of Attack on Titan? Because I think the ending really fit the show. Also, what is your opinion on the weird fan-made ending? Because I think the idea that fans tried to fix the ending was disrespectful to Isayama. Well, I haven't finished the manga, so I don't know the ending. I'm an anime only when it comes to Attack on Titan. But my opinion on the weird fan-made ending, because I think the idea that fans try to fix the ending was disrespectful to Isayama, abso-fucking-lutely. Those fans can eat a dick for all I care. I wouldn't even call those people fans, to be honest. They're just fucking, yeah, I hate it when people try and do that shit. Especially with those people on Twitter that like change the art style or something because it doesn't fit their agenda, and they have the balls to say that they fixed it. Like, go eat a dick. Go eat a fucking dick. Seriously. What the fuck? Like, who gave you the right to do that kind of shit? Let people be artistic, and if you don't like their artistic choices, then fuck off. That's all I'm saying. Just fuck off. Accept it, because that is what it actually is, I mean, you're free to make like fucking, fan-made versions of Attack on Titan and stuff like that, but be respectful to the creator, like, for fuck's sake. Don't try and fix the ending, or say that you're fixing the ending, like, Jesus Christ. That pisses me off so much. If we're going back to the previous question about like how the internet community's changed, there's definitely a lot more opinionated cunts right now, especially in the anime world, who think that like because it doesn't completely fit their agenda that suddenly they have the right to be like, oh, I fixed it, or oh, this is crap. Like, those assholes who took the fucking, like, try and find everything political about shows like My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan and try and cancel the authors and go after voice actors and stuff like that. It's like, it's such toxic behavior that definitely did not exist when I was first on, like, the internet side of AniTube. So, yeah, we need to fix that shit. We need to take away the phones from some 13-year-olds. Like, kids like that shouldn't be on Twitter and saying whatever the fuck they wanted. They need to learn consequences, I feel. And, yeah, it's definitely not a good move, but luckily that is the loud minority, and most of us are cool. Most of us are chill. Lucas Arriva says, hey Joey, not really a question, just wanted to say I really appreciate your work, and I'm loving your music. Sending love from Brazil. Thank you, Luca, I appreciate that. Shu Quinn Wu. Just call me Kashima. Okay, I'll call you Kashima then. Kashima says, hey Joey, just wanted to say, since I have heard you play Mahjong too, that I'm a big fan of Mahjong, but it seems like no one knows how to play it. Would be really fun to have some friends play together. Anyways, a question about Japan. We're going to get the best scenery and food in your opinion. P.S. I'm thinking to travel to Japan for the third time around May to June next year. Well, hell yeah, I'm trying to spread the good word of Mahjong. I finally got Gaunt into playing it, and he fucking loves it. So, yeah. Now I just got to get everyone else into it. But we're going to get the best scenery and food in your opinion? Oh, God. It depends what kind of scenery you enjoy. You can go to like some, really high-end restaurants in like Shinjuku that you have a great view of all of the Tokyo around you. You can go to, the middle of the mountains and eat some really nice food there. The good thing about Japan is that it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. You could be in the middle of a massive city. You're going to get good food and scenery. It's all just about what kind of food, what kind of scenery you personally enjoy. Fat J says, sup Jojo, what is the most elitist thing you have ever done or said regarding anime? For me, a classmate and I were talking about anime and she mentioned her favorite was Aldnoah Zero. I let out a disappointed, oh. Honestly, I don't like Aldnoah Zero, but if she loves it, then she loves it. Kind of offended her with that, oh. I mean, is that, I don't even consider that elitist. I just see that as you didn't like Aldnoah Zero. About it. I mean, Aldnoah Zero is okay to me. I probably would have said the same thing if someone around me said that their favorite anime of all time was Aldnoah Zero. I would also probably would have been like, oh, okay. So I wouldn't call that elitist. I mean, you know, what more can I say than the fact that my first ever YouTube video on the Anime Man channel was literally called Dubbed Anime Sucks. Yes, I definitely regret that video, but it's still up on my channel if you'd like to go watch it. If you'd like to watch Joey from almost 9 years ago give his really shit opinions on how he hates the dub to Samurai Champloo, then go ahead and watch that video. I just keep that video up because I like going back to it every now and then to remind myself that I was a fucking idiot, and I'm glad I'm not that person anymore. Also, the comments are really funny. Rika Takanashi says, hello, Joey. Know any anime-inspired streetwear sites other than Glam that ships worldwide? Also been loving the content from both channels. Good shit. Thank you. Well, God, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know if they sell worldwide. But there's a couple of brands like Fucking Rabbits in Japan that I really enjoy. Actually, no, there is. Omocat. You guys should know. And Omocat and Kawamoji are definitely like anime-inspired streetwear that look really clean, so I would recommend those personally. Anthony C. Divis says, have you ever read M0? Also, if you have, what is your take of the manga? The author/artist has done like 3 other manga, and I love them all, but I can't remember his or her name. I also don't remember his... I think it's a guy. It's definitely a guy that wrote M0. M0, yes, I have read it. Fuck, that's like my childhood, dude. That was like back when I was in school. That was like hot on Shonen Jump. But really underrated manga in my opinion. Really underrated artist. I fucking love it. Always wanted to see an anime adaptation of it, but I guess it never got popular enough. But solid manga. Would recommend. Loyal Sermon says, thank you, Joey, for answering my last question. And yeah, I'm doing better since last month. I found love for different hobbies like reading and playing guitar, but another thing I've been doing was watching some of your old RPG Maker playthroughs, and I fell in love with some of them. I was wondering where the last episode for The Grey Garden was. I tried looking back on your old app, but only the audio appeared on it. I know it's probably lost in time, but it would have been cool to see it. And my final question is, if you would play another RPG Maker game one day on the second channel. I know they're underrated, but it'd be so awesome to see. My favorite playthrough from your RPG Maker days was Pocket Mirror. Such an underrated legendary game. I agree. Pocket Mirror was a great game. And the full playthrough of that, by the way, is available on this channel, on the Joey channel. So go check it out. I'd definitely like to do more RPG Maker games, probably on Twitch, which will probably eventually end up on the second channel. So I just got to find some good ones. And considering the last episode for Grey Garden, okay, so there's like a bit of a backstory to that. So Grey Garden is an RPG Maker game that was created by Mogeko, who is the same person who created Mogeko's Castle, which is the full playthrough of that is on my main channel. What happened with the Grey Garden was that as I was playing that game, Mogeko got into some controversy from the West. Where basically, because a lot of Mogeko's games look really cute, but involve a lot of like gruesome and quite controversial topics like suicide and like self-harm and stuff like that. So a lot of people in the West found Mogeko's games, were not very happy with it, tried to cancel Mogeko essentially. This I feel is like the beginning of like cancel culture. And basically Mogeko then said, you know what? If that's the case, I am going to stop allowing people, and I'm asking people to stop making Let's Plays of my games because I don't want my bad messages and bad intents to be spread internationally like that. So, you know, please don't play any of my games anymore on for Let's Plays. And, you know, as a creator, I respected Mogeko's opinions. I respected Mogeko's decisions and decided to not release the last episode to Grey Garden. And yeah, there was another game by Mogeko that I did after that, but I only did it on Twitch and I didn't save the VOD anywhere. I forgot what it was called. Something in the Blue Sea. I forgot what the game was. You probably know in the comments. But yeah, that's essentially what happened. I completely forgot that I had an app. That was like some small company made that for me back in the day for free. I never got anything out of it. I never did anything with it. I'm surprised it's still on the Google Play Store. Don't download it because it's crap. It's basically defunct at this point. Yeah, I guess that's like a whole like period of my career that I'd completely forgotten about. So Thanks for reminding me of that again, Loyal Sermon. But bottom line, yeah, I definitely do want to do more RPG making games, probably on my Twitch. So I guess follow me on Twitch if that's the case. Crocs on my feet says, "Hey Joey boy, can you do a little dancey dance for the people? Get some booty work in there, ass well. Love your vids. You look submissive and breedable. Wanna bear my children. I'm above the age of consent. P.S. You like my profile picture? It's the horse." Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Senor Headphone says, "Can you give us a top 5 of your favorite songs? If Fairy Tale by Alexander Rybak is not on there, then you kind of sus, not gonna lie. I don't even know who Alexander Rybak is. And I don't have a top 5 songs because that shit changes all the time. It's like my top 5 anime. Changes all the fucking time." Yummy Hotoke says, "What is the shittiest place you've visited?" God, this is going to be controversial, but probably New York. That place was crap. It smelt like garbage. The people were rude. Yeah, I didn't have a very good time in New York. I'm sorry, people from New York. Maybe I was in the wrong place. I don't know. I was in like middle of Manhattan, and I didn't have a great time in New York, unfortunately. Also, another place I didn't have a great time because the people were just so shit was Paris. Yeah, I've heard though from my French friends that like Paris, like even French people hate Parisians. So I don't know how true that is. That's just what I've heard, but those are probably the 2 shittiest places I've been to. Supreme Weeb says, "Sup, Joey? Did you know that you're wrong about the amount of Danganronpa anime adaptations out there? Trigger Happy Havoc was the only game to get one, with Danganronpa 3, the anime being a split between a prequel of 2 and a sequel of THH, and it's got nothing to do with V3. Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. So thank you for the clarification, I guess. And why would you want an anime of 2 anyway? It cut out all the free time events and turned the series best trials that last like 2 hours in game into 24-minute episodes. I mean, they kind of did that with Danganronpa 1, and I thought it was not too bad, even after playing the game. But I agree. You know, maybe 2 should just stay as a game. But I feel Danganronpa 2 that needs more recognition. And, you know, what's the best way to get people into a game? Make an anime out of it. Nice Mormon Boy says, "Hi Joe, new supporter here. Love your videos and streams. I've been learning Japanese since last December, and I've been reading manga fully in Japanese for almost a month, and was wondering if you think being able to fully understand everything is necessary, and I should do a lot more study before I fully jump into reading, or if I should just start. Reading Slam Dunk right now, and can understand most key points, but I'm not very fluid with quickly understanding verb conjugations and grammar, and can't really pick up on nuance. Should I just skip past stuff I don't know until it comes up again, try and search up everything, or study more and hold off on reading? Also, would you ever consider streaming the Mother series at some point? Thank you and keep up the amazing content." Yes, I would love to stream Mother 2, Earthbound, at some point. But I would, personally, I feel in order to, like, you should lay down the fundamentals of Japanese grammar and conjugation, all that kind of stuff first before you dive headfirst into reading manga. Especially Slam Dunk. I'm surprised you didn't start off with like easier stuff, like stuff from like Korokoro Komiku that's more for younger, for like kids and stuff like that. Because Slam Dunk is like, you know, it's a shonen manga, and it's like, you know, read by like, you know, 12 to 14-year-olds, right? So unless your grammar is up to that level, you're going to have kind of a difficult time of reading Slam Dunk. Especially, you know, and I feel you're going to be missing out on what makes Slam Dunk amazing, because a lot of the best moments of Slam Dunk is the dialogue and the character relations and stuff like that you learn from the dialogue. So I would say study more and hold off on the reading for the time being, or if you do want to read manga, start off with some easier stuff, like stuff that was serialized in like Korokoro Komiku. Yeah, that would be my advice. Dark Zelda Master says, "Hi Joey, do you like classical music? If so, which composers? Also, did you know that you kind of predicted the new Kimetsu no Yaiba movie, now rehashed into a 7-episode TV show? You watch or screw that? Last question, what's your opinion and your advice to artists or even fan art artists? Sorry if I asked too much, and good tomorrow." Yeah, I love classical music. I mean, I was classically trained in piano for about 11 years, so I had to learn all sorts of classical music on piano. My favorites is definitely like those in like the Romantic era, so things like Chopin and Liszt and stuff like that. I think those are like the most fun to listen to, but also the most fun to play personally. And yeah, I saw about the Demon Slayer movie being rehashed into a 7-episode TV show. I mean, I knew it was coming. It's too big of a series to make people miss out on, right? Like, not, especially when it came out, not everyone could go to the cinemas at the time, right? So I'm not even surprised about that. Last question, what's your opinion and your advice to artists or even fan artists? I mean, yeah, I love artists. I love fan art artists. Keep doing your thing. And advice, well, I'm not an artist or a fan artist myself, so I don't know, but just just keep drawing. I guess just keep drawing. Pizza Killer says, kind of a weird question, but why does every Japanese girl in hentai or JV actresses sound so high-pitched when they moan? I mean, I know everybody is different, but I legit have never heard anything other than squeaky moan noises from Japanese girls. Well, I mean, have you heard them talk? They're also, most of the time, sound pretty fucking squeaky, so that's just how it is. Yaya says, hi Joey, serious question. As an unabashed Bleach fanboy, have you heard/seen any news about the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime release since it was announced in March last year? Haven't really seen any updates. Give it a good word, peace. No, I also haven't seen any news about it, to be honest. But I'm looking forward to it whenever the fuck that decides to come out, I guess. They were also talking about, Kubo Taito was also talking about making more Burn the Witch stuff, but he hasn't announced anything about that either, so I don't know. I guess the pandemic's really screwing over a bunch of people. DP3 says, how would you rank each JoJo part? I asked this because I have high hopes for the series, but part 1 was a pain to get through, and I'm in the beginning of part 2 at the moment, and it's kind of slow right now. Yeah, well, part 1 is definitely the slowest. Part 2, really good. Part 3, anime, slow. Part 4, really good. Part 5, even better. And I'm hoping part 6 is even better than that, because when it comes to the manga, part 6 and 7 are my favorite parts, and those are the next two to be hopefully animated. I still have to finish part 8. I just bought the last volumes of part 8, so I need to sit down, reread all of part 8 before first volume of part 9 comes out. Dylan2019 says, hey, do you like ecchi anime? If so, could you recommend any? For a friend, obviously. I mean, I've recommended multiple different ecchi series on Monthly Otaku Collection videos in the past, so I guess go back in that catalog and check them out. Jonathan Long says, what are your thoughts on the recent scandal between voice actor Tatsuhisa Suzuki and singer Lisa? As of this comment, there have been no news of them divorcing after Lisa returned to singing and Suzuki losing a lot of his roles. But do you think that's the case? Yeah, I mean, it was pretty shitty of him to do. Not surprised that he lost a lot of roles. I mean, Lisa is like the biggest artist as of right now, so like, what do you expect? It's like someone breaking up with fucking Michael Jackson back in the day, right? Like that's the level we're talking about in Japan. Like there isn't a single person who doesn't know who Lisa is. So yeah, he definitely fucked up. Yeah, and he kind of got what he deserved, I guess. But that was all the questions that we have for this month's super secret Q&A time for October 2021. Thank you to everybody who asked me lovely questions. And hey, if you would like to ask a question for next month's Monthly Otaku Collection, then leave it down in the comments on Patreon of the post that you got this link to this video from. And I guess give me your thoughts on any stuff down in the comments below. Also, again, if you are a $25 or a $50 patron, then the pinned post over on my Patreon, you'll be able to leave your suggestions on different video topics, and if there are any like cool video topics that I see, then I might make a video of it over on my second channel, so consider doing that if you are a higher tier patron. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.